Hi there, this is Rick Clark with another portion of our thoughts on the gospel is better than you think. And here's one of the key elements that's missing in the alternative gospel of the American church. And that is the Lordship of Christ. You see, a lot of Americans think, well, I want to be free from any kind of demands by God. I want to reinterpret the gospel as God existing to serve me. Well, the gospel according to Jesus, the gospel that he preached before he was crucified on the cross, before he was resurrected, he went about preaching the gospel. And one of the first glimpses that we get of this gospel that Jesus preached, he said, the kingdom of heaven's at hand. Well, he's talking about himself. He's talking about himself as the king. But one of the first people to recognize this was Nathanael. Nathanael was invited by his brother to consider Jesus, and Nathanael thought, nah, I don't think so. He's from Nazareth, and nothing good comes out of Nazareth. But then Jesus did talk to him. When Nathanael met Jesus, Jesus said, well, I saw you under the fig tree. And Nathanael makes this amazing proclamation. He sizes up Jesus very quickly and says, you are the Son of God, and you are the King of Israel. How did he know that? Well, it must have just been massive revelation. But Jesus says, well, because I told you that you were sitting under the fig tree, you believe this? Let me tell you more. You will see the heavens opened and angels ascending and descending on the Son of Man. And you will behold, really, the King in all of his glory. That's John chapter 1, verses 49 through 51. Basically, when Jesus came, and he began to announce the kingdom, he was announcing his own kingdom. He was announcing his own lordship. He was announcing the fact that he is coming to establish a millennial reign, a 1,000-year reign on this earth. He is coming back to take over. And even when he came as the King of the Jews. And if you remember, when he was crucified, that was the sign they put on the cross over his head. Jesus Christ, King of the Jews. The issue was his lordship. The issue was that he came as the king. Well, as I mentioned, in America, we just don't like that concept. It strikes against this idea, well, I want to be free. I want to be free to live my own life. I want to take and have God help me fulfill the American dream. That is a faulty gospel. But when I say the gospel is better than you think, I'd like to suggest that if you really lay hold of the lordship of Jesus, and you understand he's coming back to establish a kingdom, that you can partner with God in the establishment of his kingdom, that you will rule and reign with him as he establishes his kingdom, and that even now, as the kingdom of heaven is triumphantly expanding around the earth, that you can have a major role in partnering with God in the expansion of his kingdom. Now that's incredible news. We way underestimate the beauty, the glory, the majesty of Christ and his kingdom, and our opportunity to serve him as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So, the Bible says the greatest commandment is to love the Lord. And if your Christianity somehow doesn't require you to embrace the lordship of Jesus, the kingship of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the right to rule, and the fact that we have to serve him. He doesn't serve us, we have to serve him. Well, if you can embrace that as part of the gospel that you may have underestimated and say, yes, I acknowledge Jesus Christ as my King of Kings and Lord of Lords, then you will indeed discover more of the compelling gospel, the gospel that is greater than you think. Bottom line, Jesus is Lord.